Walton Insurance Group, Ric Walton. Are you ready now?
Yeah. I want to know, tell me, how do people get on their phones, just go like this all the time, like whatever. And then you see even women, they got these long nails on. Mm-hmm. How, I swear I hit the wrong key every other time. Mm-hmm. Do you do the same?
Oh, sure, everyone does.
I don't think everyone does. I just think guys like us, we're all
the
thumbs.
Experts do it like this.
Oh, no, they do it like that. I can't do that. I used to do that a little bit with my BlackBerry back in the day. I loved that BlackBerry. That was so easy. I cannot do that. How do you do that?
Do you know you can talk into it and it will just type for you?
I do, but sometimes it doesn't understand me.
Sometimes it'll automatically it'll open up the text, I'll be talking and it'll just, and it sends a text.
I know.
Yeah.
I know, I've gotten one of those and I was really embarrassed by what you said too. It's just, you got to clean it up a little bit here.
I think is this your first time here this year?
No, it's not. You don't ever remember me, Jeez. Johnny, are you still seeing that one doctor or what?
Now,
maybe you should.
Do you know, one of our employees' daughter's friends is dating your grandson. Is that it? Did I get it right?
Maybe. I don't know.
Does she go to Northwest?
No, the daughter of our employee goes to Lumen, and her friend goes to Lumen, and your grandson goes to Western.
Right. I know that. But I'm not sure I can keep up with, I'll call him. I'll call him right now. No.
I don't know. I mean, it's a small town.
Yeah, you think so?
Years ago, kids, they just hung out with the kids at their school, but now everybody's connected.
Well, it's kind of true, but I remember back in high school, it always was kind of fun to go to the other high schools because you were new and and I was from the city high school, and you'd go out to Northwest or Western or wherever, Lumen for that matter, and everything else. And it was kind of fun because you weren't this same old everyday things. That made you special.
Yeah, Lumen Christi. We have a viewer that said, don't shorten Lumen Christi to Lumen because it's just half the name of the school.
Well, it's true.
It'd be like saying Notre.
Yeah, Notre.
Notre.
Yeah, I get it. It's like
Notre Dame.
I guess. I mean, I understand. I mean,
I get that.
It's no disrespect, and
it's
I think
not
they
disrespect.
No,
I don't think it's disrespect.
I don't either.
Just,
I don't either. I mean, a lot of people used to call it even Christie.
J High.
J High.
That's short.
Yeah, that's true too. The only real true high school ever was Parkside, I think, wasn't it?
Vandy.
Vandy. That's right. Yeah. No.
So Rick went to Parkside, and actually your school is talked about as a high school because of the Martin Luther King event. There were a couple of speakers that went to Parkside when it was a high school, and there's a lot of young people that don't know that at one time was a high school.
In fact, actually, when you go on the the alumni or whatever, when you go to your schools and stuff, they refer to it as Parkside Junior High School, even back in the day, which it wasn't back then. And, I mean, that's back when we had 2,000 kids there.
Well, it was. It was Parkside. It was Parkside High School. Then it became Parkside Junior High School. Right. And we also what was the other? Was Hunt Junior High School too?
Hunt was a junior high school, and Frost. Frost was junior high school. Yeah. Frost and Hunt that fed into Parkside. Well, I guess on Hunt. I'm not sure whether the border where you went to Jackson High or whatever there, but. So I think, to be honest, I think most of the kids that went to Hunt went to Jackson High. I think that's what happened. But it depends on probably where, I don't know how they drew the lines.
Could you pick where you went, or was it by where you lived?
Where you lived. Where you lived. Yeah, you couldn't, back then they didn't have school of choice or anything like that. You just had to, I don't think you could even pick, like today I guess you could pick to go to Hanover Horton if you wanted to go to Hanover Horton.
Right, today you can pick, you couldn't back then.
Couldn't back then. No, not at all. Not at all. So it was really, you had those borders and you were Jackson High or wherever. Northwest, Hanover, whatever it happened to be. Back in the good old days,
Yeah. Now, a lot of people have New Year's resolutions.
Right.
You have any, or are you already perfect?
Number one, I'm not perfect in very many ways at all, if any. I'm not sure if there are any. But number two, I really don't, I guess at the beginning of the year, I mean, I just think we always continue to just try to get better at what we do and try to, treat people better. And really the big thing is just try to understand people. And I'm just, I've been, on this tirade about politicians and how they do what's politically correct and we don't do what's people correct anymore. And I think that's, the parties are both, to me, all screwed up. The parties are so strong and don't tell me, I always said, just don't tell me that if you're a Democrat or you're a Republican, you believe 100% in whatever they come out with. I just don't believe that for a second. We got to be a lot different than Northern Republicans or Democrats versus the Southern ones in a lot of cases. I mean, it doesn't even make sense, but they're so strong that I don't think you can hardly voice an opinion. And, I mean, lately it did with the McCarthy thing and everything, which I almost respect that, to think, wow, they speak up, instead of just go along with the group. I'll tell you, I've been on a number of boards. The best boards I've ever been on is people that just don't shake their head yes to whoever happens to be the head of the board at the time and says, yeah, but what about this, type thing. That's where you get better, because so many times in my office, I made a decision and then somebody came in, Rick, but did you think about this? And I said, I didn't think about that. That's a great point. And maybe change the decision or whatever. And that's where I just think we're wrong, is that so-called person at the top, and they may be way out there, and we're just going to follow that person without saying, yeah, but, type thing. So, I don't know. It's the way of the world, where are we all going and everything. I was just reading the headlines in there about retail right now, looking at the Wall Street Journal. You probably looked at it this morning. It's the only time I read the Wall Street Journal, even though I love the Wall Street Journal, the front page, because it has all the kind of different topics of all the top stories right there, and it's kind of fun to read that. I'd like to get it just for that, so, that's interesting. Maybe I could look into it more or whatever. But it's, it's an interesting world right now.
Yeah, you've followed that George Santos, the congressman who's the liar that got elected.
From New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's another thing right there. So you can, I mean, I guess, I can't believe that people didn't pick up on that. It's just like, this guy made up all this stuff, and I mean, you hear that about a lot of different people, but this guy went to the extreme, it seems like, and it doesn't make, so I'm going to get on, if I'm going to run for office, I'm going to tell you that I graduated out of Harvard, number one, and whatever. Are you going to believe me?
It's like, how many things can I make up?
Yeah, and get away with it.
Yeah.
Number one, I'd be caught right away because I couldn't get into Harvard.
Now, the Chamber Night of Distinction is coming up in a couple weeks, February 2nd, and you've won a Small Business Award. You've won a number of awards.
I don't know.
Did you know? I think you were either the first or the second ever Small Business Person of the Year.
Yeah, the first one.
First one. You're the first one.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I feel very honored by that and everything else out there. I mean, I don't know. I just feel honored by that. And it's great. I mean, I've loved my business, still do, and love my people that work with me. And, it's just, I'm a real culture guy. Trust me, I'm just a big culture guy. Everybody, I would say, works with me, and I really mean that. And they're really friends on some level or whatever. And it's just, you go to work every day. Who do you see every day? You see all these guys, like that guy, what's that guy's name back there, that Benny guy? We see him every day, but you become friends with these people, and you like them, and it becomes part of your life. And
a lot of your staff, they've been there for decades.
Oh, yeah, over 30 years,
yeah.
A number of them have. And, we rarely ever lose a person. We've lost some people, but rarely ever lose a person.
People retire and so
retire and everything else out there.
Your brother-in-law retired this past year.
Yeah, he did. And it's just, I always tell anybody, you want to retire, great. I got no problem with retiring, but you better figure out. I talked to somebody yesterday, or was it even earlier this morning? I can't remember now. But about, they're not so sure about this retirement thing because they don't know exactly what they're going to do. I said, if you don't know what you're going to do, you better really think about it, because it's, would I like to have more time off? One of the things I really do enjoy right now is staying in bed just a little bit longer and maybe pull my phone out and look at my emails before I go to work. I never used to do that. Just kind of, I don't know what it is, and.
Well, I know you like to go pick up the mail.
I like to pick up the mail, but we get the mail delivered to us during the week, but yeah.
All right, what do you got going on this weekend?
This weekend, actually Lisa's coming back. She's out of town right now, coming back Saturday, and not a whole lot. I'm gonna go watch one of the kids play basketball. And
I think I'll be doing that too.
You too?
You bet.
Yeah.
Well, you have a great weekend.
And you too. Hope we can see the sun sometime.
I think you will, and I think I'll see you at the games.
Maybe we'll.
From the Walton Insurance Group, the very first ever Small Business Person of the Year, Ric Walton. Well, that's it. We've